Hello everybody and welcome back to a new video. So in this video I'm gonna be sharing my thoughts on the fact that now PoE 1 and PoE 2 are two separate games, and I think this has some pros and some cons to it, and we'll be talking about this in this video. So let's get into it. Yeah, some of my initial thoughts, right? Number one, the slow and methodical gameplay looks really good. I mean, just look at this fight, it looks so clean. And it might affect some of the players who are used to the zoom gameplay, like myself. You know, it might feel like it's a slogfest because I really don't want to be fighting a mob for 10 minutes. It's really not the PoE that I've grown to love and know, right? But we have to keep in mind that this was in Act 3 and they are mostly playing with white and blue items and one or two link gems. So also Jonathan did say they slowed this for the showcase, you know, which I think might be a double-edged sword for the existing players of Path of Exile, because we really want the zoom, we really want to see the speed that we get. Now, there's one good thing though. Our microtransactions will be shared between the two games, so whatever you have in PoE 1 now, your microtransactions will work in PoE 2, and if you buy some microtransaction in PoE 2, they'll work in PoE 1, which I think is a really good thing that they are doing. And if PoE 2 does maintain the um, the model, the pay to the free to play model that PoE 1 has, I think there won't be an issue with the players in terms of monetization. Right, so let's jump into the pros now. Right, number one, I think this will let people play what they want, because there are people who like the slow and methodical gameplay, and there are people like me who like the zoom playstyle, like the headhunter with 25-50 buffs, soul eater, and just clearing his trend map in like 20 seconds. That's what people like me like. And then there are people who like the slow methodical play, like what Diablo 4 has to offer. I think this would be really good for that reason. And the cycling leagues, this is number two. The cycling leagues means more PoE content for both the content creators and the content consumers. Like for example, I think I've been only playing Path of Exile for the last couple of months, and the occasional city skylines, right? And if we have PoE 2 and PoE 1, I'll literally only be playing Path of Exile, and I'm okay with that. I really don't really care about any other game at this point in my life. And there are some people who feel like they will miss out on things, especially in other games that are not Path of Exile. I mean, it's a concern, but yeah, it's a part of life. You have to make choices. You have to pick what you want to play and go on with that. Number three, I think PoE 2 is going to cater to a more casual player, and PoE 1 will cater to the more hardcore player. I mean, that's what I'm getting from this game at this point, right? But I'm not talking about casual like the Diablo 4 type of casual, like it's dumbed down to the point that it's so stupidly easy. It is still PoE. It still is complicated to a certain extent, and I think this will make it easier for newer players to get into the game, especially those who like the gameplay from Diablo. They'll get this clean combat that we have in Path of Exile 2, and they'll get into the game, and then if they find out that they actually want more, then they can go also into Path of Exile 1. Right, number four. I absolutely think it is a great thing that we are keeping Path of Exile 1 is a separate game, because there are people who love the game. As Jonathan did say this on ExileCon Day 1, he did say this, that they didn't want to get rid of the game now, and I'm with that. I run with that. I think that's really good. My next point is this will reduce the work for GGG in terms of moving all the characters, all the items, all the gear, the stash tabs, everything from Path of Exile 1 into Path of Exile 2, because all that was going to be a lot of work. In my opinion, I think that was going to be ridiculous amount of work. So I think this will make it easier on GGG's side, and yeah, I think those are the pros that I have. If you have any pro that I missed out, please let me know in the comments. And let's jump into the cons. I think this will be the number one con that I think is this will split the community in two, and it might affect the game economies. Right. Now, what do I mean by affect the game economies? If a lot of people jump to play PoE 2, PoE 1 will have fewer people, right, that are playing the leagues, and that will make the economy extremely slow. Or if it goes the other way around, and a lot more people stick with PoE 1 because of the zoom speed that we all love and enjoy, PoE 2 might have a weird economy. But also, if a lot more people stick with PoE 1, I think the new people who come to play PoE 2 will have a thriving economy in PoE 2. So that might work out well if people don't abandon PoE 1. But if a lot of people abandon PoE 1 and go to PoE 2 and the new systems, that would affect the PoE 1 game economy, right? Number two, this sudden news definitely disappointed a lot of people, right? And players are all doom and gloom, especially on Reddit. I opened Reddit for a few seconds and I just closed it. It's just depressing over there in this moment. Because we were all expecting the game to be just two different campaigns with one end game, combined end game, which would have been epic, but I mean, things don't go out perfectly all the time in this world, right? My last con, this is going to hurt a lot of PoE 1 lovers, people who love to play Path of Exile 1. I think the fact that these games are now separate, it might mean that Path of Exile 1 will not be getting the gem system, will not be getting the air weapon swap system, the good quality of life systems that are in Path of Exile 2. We might not be getting them in Path of Exile 1, which is really sad in my opinion, and I think we might have a time when people actually start asking GGG for these things in PoE 1. Because the skill system, oh my god, the skill system in PoE 2 is just glorious. So those are my thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And my next video, I'll be talking about my plans for the next league and the build guide that I'm putting up, which is going to be ridiculously detailed and specifically targeted towards newer players. So if you want to check that out, do leave a subscribe, leave a comment, leave a like, and hit the notification button so that you get notified when the video comes out. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.